Let's speak now to Steve Herman. He's White House Bureau Chief for Voice of America News. He's in Alexandria, Virginia. Steve, good to talk to you again. What do you expect from this event?
Not much. As was pointed out by Laura there, this is very different than the usual political conventions we're used to. And we're going to see the same thing, of course, next week with the Republican National Convention and Donald Trump as well. The president's already been criticizing the Democrats' convention, saying that because they're going to have these canned tape speeches, he thinks he'll do his acceptance speech live from the White House next week.
Yeah, it's difficult, isn't it? Unless you see enthusiasm in front of you, it's often hard to feel enthusiasm.
Well, I think this will appeal to some degree to those really hardcore, die-hard political junkies and supporters of the respective parties. And then, of course, those of us who watch all this for a living are going to be forced to watch it. But I think a lot of people are probably going to prefer to tune in to see what's on Netflix or Amazon Prime or something like this rather than watch these speeches live or on tape, and then they'll catch the highlights when they tune in to watch their news programs later.
But on that point, the ratings are a big deal, aren't they? And Mr. Trump will make a big deal of the ratings.
Certainly, and that's why he's going to put on what he can of a big show, doing the acceptance speech live from the White House. And then we learned a few hours ago that the Republican Party is planning right after his speech to set off fireworks at the Washington Monument to give a bit of a spectacular backdrop to the president's words.
So, Steve, what chance do you think of momentum coming out of the so-called convention bump?
Right. It's usual that what we do see is a party holds its convention, it gets a bit of a bump, and then the other party holds its convention, and subsequently it gets a bump too. You know, you have to think that what's been going on in this country for the last few years, people are very familiar with the talking points of these two parties. Opinions are very much baked in. It's a deeply divisive country. And I think a lot of the pollsters will find it surprising that there's a major change that comes out of all this, unless there's some sort of big blunder that's committed by either Joe Biden or Donald Trump during their appearances.
Steve Herman of Voice of America News, thank you so much.
My pleasure.